All right. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the channel. We're going to be going over June 30th MLB games in this one, and there was a bunch of fun activities and events that happened last night. In the title, we're talking about Trea Turner hitting for the cycle. It was his birthday. He did it on his 100th hit of the season. He's just a little ticked off, I think, that he was snubbed basically from the fans, a bit from the All-Star voting, which to me, pretty atrocious. We have the Cubs, who made history in last night's game in being the second team in modern era to hit 7 runs in that first inning and then lose by more than 7 runs. So those Cubbies, not a good series to be making those kind of records on. And then we also have the Yankees along the way, who had a pretty big lead and turn it over to Chapman, who's normally lights out, blowing the game in intense fashion. But we got 15 games, so we're going to jump right into it. But before we do, go down there, hit that like button, hit that subscription button. We cracked 100 subs this week, and now the next step's 250. So if you enjoy MLB, hockey, football, all that fun stuff, you'll enjoy this channel because we just keep the discussions going. So jump down there for that. Otherwise, let's jump into the game, starting things off as per usual with the earliest game of the day. We have the Cardinals 7, Diamondbacks 4. Cardinals are now 1 game away from being back to 500, and they took advantage of a series against the Diamondbacks that every team is going to get in the West or in the National League. They're going to get their chance, and when you're up against a team that struggles as much as Diamondbacks, you got to take full advantage of it, and that's what the Cardinals did. Meanwhile, they're making up some ground on the Cubs, who have been struggling. The highlight here is O'Neill having a nice 3-hit night for the Cardinals. We have no home runs coming from this game at all. Walker for the Diamondbacks had a nice 3-hit night himself. Riley Smith goes 3, 4 earned runs, 1 strikeout. I say Riley Smith, but I might just be taking that from hockey. But no, his name is actually Riley Smith. I had that right. Kim, 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 5 Ks himself. In the nice little win here, and the Cardinals jumping back into it. Like I said at the top of the show, Cubs set a record in this one, tied a record or whatever, second team in modern history. Put up 7 runs in the first inning. They had a 7-1 lead, and then somehow they found a way to lose by 7 or more runs. What can you say? Milwaukee Brewers, really, their offense came to play in this one, and they're starting to jump up to a nice offensive team here, and that's always been my concern with Brewers, whether they'd be able to get offense. They've showed at least to have a little bit of offense against the Cubs these past few days, and the Cubs bullpen's kind of come back down to earth. Urias had an amazing night, 4 hits, 4 RBIs. He had 2 home runs in this one. Adams, his 12th home run of the season. Urias is up to 10 with no home runs for the Cubs. Jake Arrieta can't even get out of that second inning there, where he basically spotted a 7-run lead and gave up 6 runs, 3 of them earned, 4 walks over a 1.2. They yanked him out right away out of there, and Brothers comes in, blows the rest of the game. The save on the other side, Milwaukee, Ashby, he doesn't get out of the first run, of course. We're talking about 7-run first inning. And then the bullpen does come in, and they give a couple innings. Each of these guys give a couple innings and no earned runs down the rest of the way. So the Cubs don't score any runs after the first inning, etc., etc. XJ Teal, nice to see you. Welcome. Nice to see you around. Keeping things going here. Rockies 6, Pirates 2. Pirates, they end up getting swept here by the Rockies. Had a nice lead here, 2-0 early on, but they don't hold it. And John Gray's looking pretty good. He's definitely going to be some trade bait coming along here. Hampson, nice 4-hit, 2 RBI night. CJ Cron hitting his 11th home run of the season for the Rockies. Really gave a boost for the Rockies to go on this little bit of a win streak here. On the other side, we have Adam Frazier continuing to have probably the best average in the National League with a nice 2-hit night. John Gray goes 6, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks. Chad Cole on the other side, he goes 4.1, 3 earned runs, 6 Ks. And he gets the loss. He's now 2-5 on the season. The Pirates can't keep it together, and again, they get swept by the lowly Rockies. Moving along, we have probably one of the highlights of the season so far. This was an amazing. Nationals 15, Race 6, and this was the Trea Turner show. I know there's been a lot of talk on the social medias, and even I thought that seeing Trea Turner, he got my vote when I did. I'm going to go back and do another All-Star vote and kind of show you guys where I voted, but Trea Turner was a lock for me. He's had an amazing year. He's batting .318 now. He had a 4-hit night, and of course, when you're hitting 4 times and hitting for the cycle, you know how that works out. It was his birthday yesterday. He got up to 100 hits on the season, which, of course, with an average like that, leaning his at-bats, he's probably up there in terms of hits across the MLB. So he's at 100 for the season. Overall, Washington coming to play. They're down 2 games above 500. Washington's looking to see themselves back in this hunt in the National League East. And of all the divisions to have a little bit of a slow start and be able to power out and take a giant lead, this is the division, and that's what happens when the Nationals take the lead here. Not looking back. Trea Turner, very monster game. Hits his 14th of the season. Other than that, we have Mercer hitting his first of the season. Castro his third. Bunch of home runs for the Nationals, and they walk to a nice win over the Rays here. Diaz hits his third, and Zunino his 18th for the Rays. And this was a bullpen game for the Rays. They sent out Rasmussen for the first inning. He gave up 2 earned runs, and then Sheriff comes in. He gives up 4. And Waka's in there trying to do the middle relief thing, and he gives up 5 earned runs. So Waka's kind of struggling, and overall, this is the kind of game that I was talking about when I say the Rays are going to miss Glass now, because they're going to have to do more bullpen games, which just makes bullpens stretched out even more. So they're going to have to figure that out, or else this American League East could very much collapse around them. John Lester goes 5 earned runs, 3 Ks. John Lester's been whatever. Like, he's not been great for the Nationals, but he's the bottom of the rotation, and the Nationals otherwise get the offense going, 18-hit night, and they really pop it off. Moving along, I think this was the only doubleheader of the game yesterday. We have the Tigers 9 and the Indians 4. I don't go too much into these doubleheaders, but it was a nice one. The Tigers took both games against the Indians. They're playing spoiler in this division, and believe it or not, they're only 10 games below 500, and who knows, like, crazier things have happened, and Tigers have... Technically, they have the team, they have the bats, they have the rotation to be somewhat of a threat in this division, and definitely play spoiler, and that's what they did with the Indians over these 2 games. We have no home runs coming from the Tigers. They just had a bunch of runs, and if you look at their box score here, Bday leading the top there, 3-hit night. He's really found a nice spot in the top of this order and is up to 279 batting. He had an amazing start to the season. He had a little bit of a rough patch, but it looks like he's adapted very well. On the other side, we have the Indians. Jose Ramirez, his 18th of the season, and Bradley, his 8th of the season. Cesar Hernandez, his 12th home run of the season. Quantrill goes 3.14 and runs 3 Ks, and Quantrill's been somewhat inconsistent for the Indians, and that's been a little bit of the problem with the starters. They're really starting to miss Bieber not pitching every 5 days, that's for sure. Urena was 3.14 and runs 5 Ks, and in the no decision. And then, believe it or not, the Tigers bullpen comes in and closes the door, which I know is a rare conversation these days. Tigers 7, Indians 1, and this is game 2 of it. Hesse gets his 9th home run of the season. Cabrera, his 7th of the season. So he is now working his way towards 500 home runs. He's getting closer and closer as this season goes on. Hopefully he stays healthy, and I think we will see that 500th home run shortly. I got to do a count and see where it's at exactly. Otherwise, they held Cleveland down to 1 run, and it was Willie Peralta going 5, 0 earned runs, 5 Ks in his first win of the season, and Allen on the other side. The Indians just don't have the depth in the pitching, and it showed in this 2-game set over 14 innings. They kind of got beat up by the Tigers, 16-5 in those 2 games, so it's pretty rough. Moving along, we got Marlins 11, Phillies 6, and they're just playing straight spoiler. At this point, the Marlins, that's all they're doing. The Phillies did get out to a quick lead here. It's 4-1 after 2 innings. And then we're looking at 5-2 after 4. And then top of the 5th, the Marlins offense broke out. Starling Marte leading the way with 4 hits. Believe it or not, no RBIs. We have Cooper with 3 hits, 2 RBIs. Duvall, 3 hits, 2 RBIs. This lineup just had a bunch of guys with multiple hits in their offense. Joe Panik in the lineup for the Marlins after the trade from the Blue Jays. He hits his 3rd home run of the season, getting the offense going in that 2nd inning. Pretty awesome. Duvall also popping off at 18th of the season. On the other side, we have the Phillies, who fell short. Harper trying everything he can do, hit 2 home runs in this game, but it's not enough. The Phillies just can't seem to get offense going on days their pitching's there, And on days they get some run support, their pitching and bullpen have just been really rough. Nola goes 4.27 earned runs, 11 Ks, and if they're not getting Nola or Wheeler or whatever to have amazing quality starts, the Phillies are in trouble because their bullpen has trouble holding leads, as we know the past couple weeks. Holloway goes 5 earned runs, 5 Ks. Nothing to write home about, and he gets the no decision. But Marlins, they're now 11 games below 500, knocked the Phillies to 4 games below 500. And with the way the Nationals have played, this pretty much is setting the Phillies up to be out of it, I think, if they keep playing like this. Moving along, we got the Angels 11, Yankees 8. And the Yankees had this one. This is the kind of game the Yankees need to win if they're going to be any chance to get back into this AL East race. They were up 7-2 after one, and slowly but surely the Angels would chip away, and brought it within. Actually, it was 8-4. Like, it's nothing to write home about. And you think with the way the Yankees set up, they have a bullpen set up to close out these kind of games. They're up a few runs. They got Chapman who can come in at the end there, but believe it or not, Chapman, we're going to scroll down here. Chapman comes in, gives up 4 earned runs, all off a Jared Walsh grand slam in that top of the 9th. And that's going to be the difference. Chapman actually walked the bases loaded before giving up that grand slam, which honestly, in this day and age, we don't see a lot of that with Chapman, who has a history of just getting things done. Coming in and blowing that kind of a lead. It's been a long time since we've probably seen something like that, but he has struggled this year in these kind of situations, so it's something to keep an eye at. And the Yankees just, they heard me talking about their offense, and their offense popped off, but it wasn't enough. I guess at that front of that end of this, Ohtani couldn't even get out of the first inning and gave up 7 runs. He just wasn't on, and it makes it even worse for the Angels because Ohtani was also slated as a bat, and as we know, with the DH and putting Ohtani in there as when he's pitching, it screws up the whole situation. So you can kind of see here in the box score that he doesn't get out of the first inning. So he did get 1 at bat at least, and then they have to go through all their pitches. It kind of makes for a rough situation. But then again, Jared Walsh, the very big hero in this game. Gosselin hits his 3rd home run of the season. Jared Walsh hit 2 in this game, up to 20 on the season. And on the other side, we have Gardner hitting his 3rd for the Yankees. But the Yankees just can't get it done. And to me, this could be one of those pivotal games that we look back at the end of the season and look at, this is why the Yankees couldn't put it together. Moving along to another team that we might be talking about at the end of the season, not being able to put it together. Blue Jays, 7, Mariners, 9. Blue Jays, look, this is a very key, as a Blue Jays fan, very key series for the Blue Jays. Both these guys are relatively same record, as you can see there, both relatively on the outside looking in at the wild card spot. And yeah, this one was Mariners and Toronto going back and forth, trading scores, and going into extra innings when a 3-run home run was the difference. Kyle Seager hits his 14th of the season, Haniger his 18th. Moore is the one that hits that 3-run shot in the 10th for the Mariners, his 7th of the season. And Gurriel Jr. for the Blue Jays hits the only home run, his 9th of the season. We have Jay Crawford leading the way for the Mariners, 3 hits at the top of the lineup. Kyle Seager had a nice 2-hit, 2 RBI night. And even in the bottom, 3 hits, 3 RBIs for Moore, all coming off that home run. But Mariners find a nice win here, and it's the Jays bullpen again that kind of can't hold the door shut, and the home run ball continues to be a problem for these Blue Jays pitchers. On the other side, Sheffield goes 4 earned runs, 3 strikeouts. And this is Matt's return to the lineup. He only lost 2.24 earned runs, 3 strikeouts for the Jays. Rubber match is going to be today for Canada today, so let's hope that the Jays can play for Canada, even though it's taking place in Buffalo. Looking at that one. Red Sox 6, Royals 2. Red Sox complete the 3-game sweep of the Royals. I don't believe they play again today. They might, actually. If they do, my bad. Perez had a nice 4-hit night for the Royals, but they just fell short. Royals did have a lead again. I think this is the 3rd game in a row where the Royals actually got out to a lead over the Red Sox early, but the Red Sox find a way to come back. J.D. Martinez leading the way in that 3rd inning with a 16th home run of the season, a 3-run bomb, which they don't really have to look back from. Renfroe also hits his 12th home run of the season. Renfroe's been a quiet little decent ad for the lower half of the lineup for the Red Sox. Salvador Perez hits his 19th of the season for Royals, but not enough. This guy can't carry the team on his own. By far the best catcher probably in the American League right now. Minor, 5 innings pitched, 5 earned runs. Martin Perez for the Red Sox goes 5.1, 2 earned runs, 2 Ks, and that's enough to let the bullpen come in and close the door. Barnes comes in that 9th. Not a save opportunity, but he does close the door. Moving along, we got a rain suspension game that actually goes to final. They play 5 innings, so it's enough to call it a game. Padres 7, Reds 5. Castellanos hits the 16th of the season in this one. He continues. He's actually by far leading the batting average. I can see there 346. That's best batting average in the National League, so that's very interesting there. Home runs for the Padres. That's where all the runs were coming from. We have Grisham. He had 2. He's up to 10 on the season. Myers up to 9. Tatis Jr. hits 1 to tie up there. He's up to 26 on the season. So overall 4 home runs for the Padres. Slam Diego very much back in action. Gutierrez goes 4.16 earned runs, 3 Ks. He's kind of coming back down to earth after his first few games. He was pretty lights out. Now he's starting to be given a little bit of an initiation, especially from teams like the Padres. Musgrove goes 4, 5 earned runs, 3 Ks. Again, Musgrove not a good right outing himself, but with the shortened game and already having the lead and 4 runs in the top of the 5th, which actually is very game-changing because they put up 4 in the 5th. They were down 5-3. If it were not for that, they would have been done. Moving along, we got the biggest blowout of the night and one of the bigger blowouts of the season. We have the Braves 20, Mets 2, and this is a little bit of a concern, definitely with the Mets and all their injury issues, and they're setting themselves up to, they had to blow through a lot of things on this day, so they're setting themselves up for a rough next couple of days if they went through all their pitchers. But luckily, it looks like they really left their pitchers out to dry yesterday. So Peterson went 3, 5 earned runs, so of course he's the starter. They pull him out a little bit earlier. Reed Foley goes 1 out, 4 earned runs, and then they bring in Sazapuki, 3.26 earned runs himself. He looks like he's the guy that they leave out to dry, that eat up some innings, but also give up a ton of runs. And then Almora Jr. comes in for the end. Max Fried goes 5, 2 earned runs, 7 Ks. Home runs, we have Acuna Jr. is 22nd. Albus has 2 himself. He's up to 15. And we also have Adrianza, his 4th of the season. Pete Alonso hits the only home run for the Mets, his 13th. But this is interesting because this National League East is definitely the division that's going to be the most interesting to watch down the stretch. Orioles 5, Astros 2. And what can I say? The Orioles have won 3 in a row against what was the hottest team in the American League. I don't know if we can say that anymore after they basically got swept by the Orioles, but big props to the Orioles getting this done along the way here. Hayes hitting his 8th home run of the season. They kept the Astros home runless in this one. Matt Harvey goes 4.1, 2 earned runs, 3 Ks, and wow, Matt Harvey actually had a somewhat decent performance on this game, which we haven't been able to say since really his first outing as an Oriole. Garcia goes 4 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, 5 Ks. Just no offensive support. The Orioles got out to a 4-0 lead here, and they didn't have to look back. Franco leading the way with 3 hits on the night. Congratulations, Orioles. This might be the longest win streak we got in a little while for them, at least. The White Sox 13, Twins 3, and the drama kind of carried over from the game before in this one. Donaldson talking, he answered back with a home run, his 13th of the season, and Cruz up to 18. Sestolino hits his 2nd of the season, but the White Sox, their bats were here to really play. We have a lot of home runs to go over. Goodwin his 2nd, Vaughn his 7th, Abreu his 13th, Grandal hit 2 on this game, 14 he was up to, and Sheets hits his 1st of the season. So what's that, 6 or 7 home runs coming out of the White Sox camp. Their offense was really awake in this game. And let's not forget what this offense is about, what the White Sox are about. The White Sox have a killer offense, and their starting pitching has been elite this season. Dylan Cease leads the way in this one, 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 7 Ks, and then the bullpen comes in and closes the door. Aubert goes 3.1, 5 earned runs, 3 Ks. It's actually his first decision of the season, which I found to be a little bit surprising. But it is what it is. The White Sox pick up a much-needed, motivated win there. Last game of the night, we have the Athletics 3, Rangers 1, and this one was a little bit of a quiet game. Athletics put up 3 in the 2nd, didn't really add to their lead, didn't give up too much into their lead, and Texas only got their only run in that last inning, top of the ninth, when Joey Gallo hits his 19th of the season. Gallo's been a little bit hot, but overall, the A's pitching got it done. Bassett goes 7-0 earned runs, 7 Ks. He's been amazing for the A's this season. We can't underrate how much the rotation has been a big part of this A's season so far, and that's probably what's the recipe for success right now. So with the Astros having struggles against the Orioles, and now A's at least taking care of business against Texas today, that division is going to be getting interesting as well. A couple of these races starting to get interesting along the way. We got the American League East, who Boston took a pretty commanding lead over these past few days after flip-flopping between them and the Rays. We have the Central, who the White Sox making a statement while Cleveland's struggling with the Detroit Tigers. We have the American League West with the A's and the Astros really battling it out. Then we go over to the National League and we see the East. Wow, I'd like to hear what you guys think, who's going to win the National League East, because right now my money would be on the Nationals with the way that the teams are setting up. Braves really beat down the Mets, and the Mets just have so much injury issues. I don't know if that's something they can overcome in the long term. And these Nationals are on fire, and it seems like they have a fire lit underneath them. They have a better rotation, all that fun stuff. Then we go to the Central, between the Brewers taking a massive lead on the Cubs, really sweeping the Cubs, putting them in their place. They went from flip-flopping, both teams winning and losing at the same rate, and then Milwaukee has just exploded over these past few days. I think they're up to 8-game winning streaks, something like that. And then we go down to the National League West, and holy jumping, we got the Giants, the Padres, and the Dodgers. Like, this season is setting up to be amazing. Finish. Can't wait to see how all these division races play out, because as we know, every September there's Cinderella stories. Every summer we see teams that have big leads fall apart. So it's going to be interesting how the rest of this MLB season plays out. Thanks for coming for today's show. If you guys are watching this live, this is normally where we do questions and that, but I don't see anyone really making any comments other than XJTL, who said hi earlier and we responded, but I don't know if anyone else has any questions. But thanks for everyone who stopped in today for the show. We do these every morning. We kind of run down what happened the night before in the MLB baseball games, as well as the drama and what's going on around the league, and we'll see what that power rankings coming out, of course, this weekend. For all you Canadians out there, enjoy your Canada Day. It's going to be a fun one, and we'll see you guys for the next video. Thanks.